folks, we're back at it, playing with the wood. Something I really don't like to do, but it's got to be done. Okay, I fired up our high-performance scroll saw with the runs off the drill attachment, and got us another piece cut out here. So we're moving along on it. So what I'm going to do to get, I want bosses that protrude up, and for my two cams, and then probably for the, we'll probably go ahead and do it for the center too, but we can machine it off for whatever we need to do. Let me see. I've got the seal right here that's going to come through this cover, so we'll go, you know, bigger than that. And then everything else I'm going to shave down some. It don't have to be that thick. There's a little bit on the inside I've got to do. Not a whole lot, but and then once we get it, you know, get it all done and everything, and get it cast, I'm going to do some checking on the fitment inside, and we're going to shim them cams to where, you know, there's very little play between the bottom case and this case, and of course I've got steel shims to go in there, so you know, it's not going to be anything running on the aluminum. And let me see, I think that's about it. We'll get these up. I haven't got my letters yet. I may run and grab them. I'm not going to have much room for letters, but we're going to put them somewhere if we got to put them across the top or something. We'll see how it works out once I get it milled. But what I'm going to do is just got it sitting on here where I need it, okay, and it sort of sits in place there up against these guides, because the guides stick out just a little tiny bit, and we'll get it where I want it centered. This is a little bit big because you got to remember I'm going to have shrinkage, and I've got to angle everything too. But this is not going to be nearly as bad as the other covers, I hope. But I'm going to bring it over on the mill. We'll take it off, and then I'll find our hole, and then I'll raise up. I'll sit our cover back on, and then I'll come down to it, and then I know that that's where we need to go around it for the boss. And hopefully when we're all done and we get them drilled, that, you know, they're all where they need to be in the center and they don't look bad. So we're going to go ahead and get on that now, and I'm going to have to set this up again on the rotary table so I can go around it, and with the ball mill on each one of these. I could connect them together, I don't know. We'll see. And go around this boss at the bottom, and of course the seal, and then the chain and sprocket's going to be out here for to run to the magneto. So we'll get on that and see if we can get that knocked out. And we're getting really close, believe it or not, much closer than you would think, because when I get all this little stuff finished, this thing's going to come together really quick. And let me see, I was trying to think. I don't think I'm really missing anything major. I've got just about everything. I do need to order some number 25 chain. Won't take long to get in. Everything else, carburetor, we can build the intake, no problem. I'll probably just build it out of steel. I'd love to cast it out of aluminum, but I've never done a core casting before to where there's a hollow hole through. And some of y'all know what I'm talking about. I guess you can take molasses maybe. Don't get me wrong, I might be wrong about that, but anyway, you put it in your mix and you make it, and then you bake it in the oven to harden it up. And you know, we may do that later. You know, an intake's nothing to change, but I'm going to make it out of steel, and we'll weld it all up and grind it down to where you can't see the welds, and that way, you know, it don't look like it's steel anyway, and or don't look like it's fabricated later. And I can't think of much anything else. You know, our magneto is fireable. I ordered a new old stock AC Delco spark plug, 18 millimeter. You know, I've got a few plugs around here. I just wanted a new one, so I think it's a 1940s NOS in the box. You know, $5. So we'll have a new plug in it. I've got to order a wire. I want to run the old cloth wire. As for antique wise, I know it's an old engine, don't get me wrong, but what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and clean all this case up and get it all ready, and I've neglected to do that while I was working on it. But I want to get this case polished up, cleaned up, you know, as good as I want it anyway. And even though, you know, antique motorcycle engine, you know, reproduction one, whatever, I don't want to make it look like it's antique. I wanted to make it look like it was new, in 1910, 1911, and so everything's going to get cleaned up and made to look like, you know, you just took it out of the crate. And that's why the magneto is going to be clean. You know, the carburetor, I'm going to do a little bit of changing on that carburetor to make it look more legit for an old style bike. But besides that, I think it'll work fine. And I think that's about it. I'm gonna keep at this. Go ahead and get her milled down, and maybe I'll get it milled tonight. We'll see how that works out. But I'm going to build a new core box for this because there's no use using that big one. It'd just be a small one, you know, 2x4s. Shouldn't take too long to throw together, and just mix our sand up, melt some aluminum. I've got enough ingot left to, you know, I started out with 22 pounds. I poured 3 covers, and I added some along the way, some more pistons and stuff. So, and I don't have any more. I think I've got one more piston left, but you know, we can throw some other stuff. You know, I've used alternators and, you know, anything that's cast aluminum I've put in. Starter housings, hydraulic pump housings, you know, anything that's no good. But you know, like I said, it's not going to take much when we're done anyway. But I'm going to get at it, see if we can get this milled the way we want. Maybe we can pick some letters up, and like I said, I like to put USA on it, and at least that, if nothing else. But all right, show you more. Okay, folks, we've got our design how we want it, and drawn out, and I may do changing on it, you never know. But what we're going to do now, we just got to center this, and then I'll screw this down. I'm just going to drill a couple pilot holes, and then sheetrock screws down to this piece. This is an old piece that somebody had made to hold blades. A carpenter made it for holding skill saw blades. But I don't use skill saw blades, so we'll just use it. So I lost my other piece. I don't know what I've done with it. I might have used it to start a fire with, who knows. But we'll screw this down. We'll come from the center out where we need to. We'll cut the radius we need to cut. You know, it's going to be straight here, radius. You know, for this radius we'll have to move the center to here, and for this radius we'll have to move the center to there. But once you set the center, move the table over, and then you just turn it and mill it out. You can't go, you want to be careful not to come past your line so you can get through straight. But anyway, we're going to do that. We'll get this down, and then we're going to machine the whole surface of this down, you know, outside of this area. And then I think we'll put our letters across the top here. So anyway, I'm going to call it a night, I think, and we'll get back on this thing tomorrow, and I might make a trip to Walmart. I haven't went yet. It's 9:18, so dreaded. Don't like going to Walmart, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. All right, show you some more tomorrow. Okay, folks, made it to Walmart last night, and picked up these letters. They're not real thick, but I bought enough where I can stack them. I think it'll be all right. I'm just going to use the, there's the U and the S and the A, and they'll work. I think my camera's going to try to fog up on me. It rained last night really bad, and I went from the air-conditioned cold house to the hot shop here. Anyway, let me wipe it down one more time. Okay, I wanted to show you the carburetor that I had bought. Now this is a newly made China carburetor, cheap. This is for a Jawa, Jawa, made in Czechoslovakia. 350 cc, from 250 to 350, they ran the same one. Variable Venturi. I like the old school style of it. It's got the button on it you push, and you know, they joke about or talk about tickling the carburetor, but you push the button and it actually lets the fuel flood run over, and that's your choke basically. And pretty neat design, old design, and that's why I liked it. So that's what we're going to run on it. And you know, I normally don't ever buy a new carburetor, but this thing was $30, so you know, cheap as you're going to find, I guess. And I hope this camera's showing up all right. It's kind of fog. But we're going to go ahead and get back on this and get her machined out, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay folks, we've got the outer perimeter cut here, and I used my chip brush to clean it out, if you can't tell that dirt or grease. So now I'm going to move the screws to the inside here, and then we're going to machine this down level with what I've got here. Alright, get at it. Okay folks, we've got it cut out and smoothed off, and got a little bit more sanding to do. We're going to fill these screw holes, and then there should be one more around here somewhere. Dirty hand. Anyway, we'll fill these screw holes, and then we're going to put our USA up there. I've got to do the draft on the sides, and then I'm just going to go on and make a flash real quick. It's not going to be anything nice or special, just probably 2x4s, and we're going to try to get this thing forward today. I'm not sure that I will. Of course, this is July 4th. It's a holiday, so this is my, I guess, my vacation day until I get a record call and I got to leave. And I'm going to give you a little update on things around here, and I'll show you some of the wrecks I've picked up. It's been really, really busy. So been jumping between here and Jordan's house, and towing and working on the rollback. I'll show you a quick update on it. But anyway, this might be a long video because of I'm going to try to get all the cast and everything in it in the update. So all right, show you more. Okay, I run back over here to my son's house. I needed to get some of the little boards that we was using for casing around the windows, and I had some scraps, and I figure I'll use them for a flask. That way I can build a small one. Anyway, we've got all the windows in, getting ready to work on the fascia boards next, and get this old concrete and brick tore out from around this porch. And I've got to get the skid steer loader up here yet and get some work done, but we're moving right along. Them windows are in, they're in permanent good, and ready to go. And them are not new construction windows, they're replacement windows, so I actually had to build casings and then put them in place. But everything we're getting used or cheap, and from friends that I know that are into that kind of stuff or mess with that kind of stuff, and so it should work out fine. We'll get the we can get these this fascia board and soffit built, and we're going to get that vinyl siding on, and that'll make this place look a lot better. And I'm just trying to get that done for the before I get the power and stuff on. I want to get the meter remounted, and it's mounted on the wall. I actually screwed it back up there after they took that siding off, but I wanted to get the vinyl done on the front, at least that side, before I had them come back out and turn the power on, because we're going to have to pull the meter, the whole box and the meter back off the wall to get the vinyl on and then put it back. So there's no use messing with it when it had power on it. And of course I got a good generator, so but yeah, I just want to get it looking a little better for the neighbors here and stuff, so it don't look like an abandoned house anyway, which is really, I guess, what it is. But all right, let me grab some wood, and then we'll get back to the house. Okay folks, here's just some of the wrecks I've picked up, and this is not all of them, but this is the bad thing about living in a another Jeep Liberty, but living in a rural area, and most of the wrecks you do have are pretty rough. Where in town you get a lot of fender benders and stuff, here you usually get a lot of rollovers and crashes. Now I've had more than this. I had one the other day, a couple stories here. Elderly lady was driving down the road, and someone pulled out in front of her, and she was forced to hit him. She didn't have a choice, and she tried to get stopped, and the guy that hit her, well, the guy that pulled out in front of her, he ran, and she decided she was going to try to catch him. So she took off, and she made it a pretty good little ways before her hood flew back and covered her windshield, and luckily she didn't crash from that. And anyway, they did end up getting him, and he had drove, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 miles on a flat tire, trying to get away, and I guess he was scared of her. But anyway, that one I got a kind of a weird one. There was a car lot there in Fayetteville that it's a new car dealer. They leave their keys in their cars, evidently, the fobs, and they've got it gated in, but somebody had found a, believe it or not, here's 2 Jeeps, and I'm sitting here talking about other Jeeps, but they had gotten 2 Jeeps out of the yard. And one of them they used to bust the gate down, and the other one they took down the road, and when it ran out of gas while they was running from the cops, I guess the cops had seen them, or was after them. When they run out of gas, they just shot toward the woods, went about 100 feet out in the woods. Now they've already picked it up. And then we had a side-by-side Polaris 900, I think it was, 4 teenagers, 13, 14 years old, run from the cops, and they ended up in a ditch, and they got them, and I had to go pick up the Polaris, and of course his dad had to come pay the bill and pick it up, and he wasn't too happy. So anyway, but we're real busy at this. Plus I'm still towing for garages and stuff too, so we got a lot of breakdown tows we do, so, or I do. It used to be we, I guess. But anyway, this one here, 2015 Toyota, believe it or not, no full coverage. And the reason being is I guess this car was a flood car, and the guy, I guess, his insurance company must have paid it off, and then he bought it back from them and kept driving it, but they wouldn't let him have full coverage because it was a flood car, so it only had liability. So it looks like I'll be stuck with it. And it's a 15, that's nice, new parts, but what is there to use, and none of these people here have gotten, not even really majorly hurt. They've gotten injured, but not really bad. Nothing that they're not going to heal up from. And we have quite a few fatalities, but not as many as you would think with wrecks like this. I mean, this wreck here that's pretty massive there. But anyway, back to work. Okay, folks, our mini flask here is made, coping the drag, and probably need to cut these screws off so I don't scratch my hands up, because I probably will. So this bottom one is really thin. This is only a, well, 1.5 inches, I guess. It's supposed to be 2 by 1, but 1.5 inches. It's not going to cause problems because we're going to have a board under it all the time anyway. So I think it'll work out all right. And if we have problems with it, I'll redo it in 4-inch. But I didn't pick up enough. I had enough to do 3 more walls in the 4-inch, which is really only 3.5, I guess. But I didn't grab enough down there at the house. Yeah, 1.5 inches. I think it'll work out. We'll try it. All right. I just got a little bit finishing up to do on the piece. I gotta get my sand mixed. Just add some water to it and mix it up, and we'll see if we can get this thing cast today. Well, there we go. It's all done. I need to paint it, but got the USA on it. We gotta get that done, get the sand ready, and we're gonna melt some aluminum, and hopefully today. We're working on it anyway. All right, I've got double letters there on top of each other, and hopefully they'll stay on there. I should have waited till I painted it. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. I was in a hurry. I wanted to get the line on it, get it lined up. But anyway, it is what it is. And hopefully we'll have a casting to work with in a little while. All right. Okay, we got everything made. Top side, bottom side, waiting on the aluminum to melt. I know it's hard to see the USA in there. Hopefully it'll come out. We're going to go ahead and flip this over and set it on there and see what we can do. Hopefully that pours good. First try. Okay, folks, the only bad thing I see, we're going to be pouring pretty close to our wood, so hopefully we won't burn it up. But we'll see how it turns out. All right, folks, we're getting ready to pour. All right, let's hope we got enough. we do. Alright folks, time to check it. If this one didn't come out, we're not going to have time to do another one tonight for sure. And I definitely don't have any aluminum ready anyway. I need to melt some more pistons for some ingots. I got to get some pistons first. But anyway, let's pop her apart and see what she looks like, I guess. Let me get you set up somewhere. So far so good. I'm surprised that little thin one worked, but it did work. Just taking a chance for sure. Alright, you'll get to see it when I see it, I guess. Get her to come on. Hoping that USA turned out alright. It wasn't real deep. Oh yeah, I like it. Yeah, it'll clean up really nice. Yeah, they don't stick out real far, but I don't mind that. Okay, we got her surfaced top and bottom. And we're going to put her on there, do it where I want it, and we'll drill some holes to bolt it down. Then I'm going to pull it off. We'll locate our camshaft pinholes, and then I'll raise it up. I'll bolt the cover back down, and then I'll come back down through in the same way with the crank, and we'll bore the hole for it. So we'll go ahead and get them two done, the big one done, go ahead and get some bolts floating it on. I think we'll be alright. Still a little bit oversized. Didn't shrink really, not much. But you know, we'll go around and clean it up, make it match. But USA, you can't see greatest, but I'll take the Dremel and clean up around it. It'll come out fine. They're just not very deep. They're just thin stickers anyway. Anyway, alright, let me get at it. Okay. Here's some bolts we're going to use. These are old and rusty. I'm going to clean them up. Hoping you see them. The daggone light decided to go out again, but they're 1/4 20, but they've got a 3/8 head instead of 7/16 head. And these are actually out of a Model A, or no, I'm sorry, a Model T. I'm not even sure where they went, but I had a bunch of them that come with the Model T parts. And so we're going to pull them off these nuts. You can see the nuts rusted away. And clean the bolts up. I like these bolts because of small heads, but the 1/20, and they look old when they're cleaned up. So we're going to use them. I've got more of them, but what I'll do is I'll drill the hole to tap, and then I'll take and put a flat on it, and then we'll be able to pull it down. So we won't really countersink them, but we'll put a flat where it's get a good surface. So all right, get at it. Alright folks, I'm calling it a night. My mind says let's get her finished. My body says time to go in. Feet's killing me. Been a long day. Got 2 bolts tapped and put in. Now I haven't surfaced this yet. I'm just going to run a 1/2" end mill down and put a surface there to be able to for the bolt, but you know, I didn't want to do it until I had a couple bolts in it. So anyway, it's looking good so far, and you can see what I'm going to do for bolts. That's all I could find. If I need to, I can make one for the center up here. You know, it's nothing but a 1/4" 20 7/16, but the head's just down to 3/8, and I cleaned them up some, and I just like them. You know, I guess because of the height of them, something about them, it just, you can tell that they're old, and besides the rust, of course. But I ran a dye down all of them and cleaned them up, and they should be good to go. And I think it's gonna work out good. You know, I'll have some. I got still a lot of cleaning up to do on here to make it look like I want it to look, but you know, I haven't done any of that yet. I'm just trying to get the mechanical part done, and you know, I was glad to get done what I got done today. And it's It's 4th of July, and I want to wish everybody a happy 4th. Remember what it's about, you know, our independence and America's birthday, and it's way more than just you know, drinking and setting off fireworks, and which I don't drink anyway. But and it's also my son's birthday. He's a independence baby, I guess is what you would call it, and you can tell he's pretty independent. But anyway, we'll get back on this thing. I was hoping to get even more done. I got, you know, a lot done. I can't really complain, but you know, this was sort of my vacation day of working on this, and I didn't do a whole lot besides of this. Just, you know, getting this casted and, or cast, I'm sorry, getting it cast and on there. It worked out pretty good. So we'll get back on it probably tomorrow night, and I'm sure tomorrow's going to be a really busy day for me. So, but I appreciate everybody watching. I really do, and if you like it, thumbs up and comment. And you know, sometimes I don't answer them all, but I do read them all. Every one of them, you know, I go through and read them, and I wish I had time to comment to all of them, but I just don't do it. But I appreciate everybody commenting. But all right, until next time. Bye. Look, a wooden motorcycle engine. I had a wooden motorcycle one time. It wouldn't run. When I finally got it started, it said wooden, wooden.